Yeah. But that's the magic of the MCU. It all counts, right?
Right.
And so it kind of felt more like the show or Falcon and Winter Soldier than it did a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Which was part of the problem. Again, not spoiling anything for Roberto here.
Right.
Or anyone else who's waiting to watch it.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything that wasn't in any of the trailers.
Yes, the trailers did a great job of spoiling everything. And the posters as you walked into the screening, it's like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
if I wanted to avoid it,
Yeah.
it's like you're showing me on my way in. So, very upsetting in that way.
Yes, I had it. Like, I understand you want to introduce, like, oh, we have this character and he's going to be a big deal and it's exciting. Like, how much?
I've seen the trailer, so it's you're speaking about the Red Hulk. I know it's
Yeah.
Okay, great. I was like, how else can I dance around this? But like,
Marvel didn't. Why should you?
yeah.
man, to give us the poster of Red Hulk squishing the shield,
Yeah.
like, you didn't have to do that. You could have
Right.
just let that be a surprise, especially with the timing of the appearance in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, if that was a revelation for people that didn't know that
I would have been
Ross is Red
epic.
Hulk, they would have lost their minds. And
Yeah.
they took that from viewers by putting it on a poster.
Yeah.
It's a cool poster, but like, the movie's been out now for a while. Now put out the poster.
Right.
Like, now make that a thing of like, hey, we gave you 2 weeks. And if you still haven't seen it and you're still going to be mad about spoilers, like, that's on you, boo-boo.
Yeah. And the internet probably spoiled it by then, right?
Yeah.
Like, so,
Yeah.
But then you get that second life out of the thing too. But it's all about getting that day one.
Yep.
And I guess that they were worried that no one was going to show up at all.
Yeah.
So let's get something that people need to see. And then, but like, it ruins the narrative of the film because like, it's built on a surprise that is spoiled before you walk in.
Yeah.
Right. So very frustrating in that way. But,
Yep.
and then it kind of repeats a lot of the notes from the show, from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't need to fight. I use my feet. Right? Right? I don't fight with my fists. I fight with my words. Come on, man.
Okay.
Like we got that in the show. Like,
Yeah.
move on.
Can we see you fight with your arm fist there? Like,
Right?
his fighting style is really awesome.
Well,
And, like,
yeah.
They utilize like him still having the wings and being the like agile, nimble, like quick moving bird falcon feel. They do that really well when they do it.
Yeah.
My gripe would be like, why are you only doing it to start and end the movie?
Yeah.
Like, why are you making me wait the entire movie to see this badass fight choreography
Right?
when like we've seen it in very small glimpses?
Mhm.
Like, give me more of that. It's an action superhero
so-
movie. Like,
So curious what got cut. Like, they had like Seth Rollins and stuff in the movie, right? So like,
yeah,
clearly they had some kind of action. You don't get a pro wrestler to be in your movie to not do some kind of stunt type
Yeah,
work.
he doesn't show
right?
up to just talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, go hire an actor for that. But
Huh?
like, if you need somebody to be physical, that's what you're getting. So we must have been missing something really cool.
Yeah.
So
I
I wonder if there's
completely forgot about that because I
Yeah.
love Seth Rollins. Like,
right? It would have been really cool. And they asked him about it on the Chris Van Fleet podcast or whatever.
Oh,
He
yeah.
kind of brushed it off. Just like, yeah, I was in it. And yeah, it would have been really cool, but I'm not allowed to talk about why it's not there. And whatever. It's done. I hope they do really well. Right? So it sounded like it didn't even end well. It was just like a fine. I'm
Yeah.
cut out. Done. I'll go do my thing. Right? So I don't know if we'll ever see it. Because I don't know if you've ever seen so terrible film, but somewhat salvaged by the director's cut was the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds.
Mhm.
It's a lot of screaming going on.
Oh, you can hear something.
Oh yeah.
I was like, man, you're really making this page come to life over there. Crazy.
I was gonna cut it out, but now I can't.
You're welcome.
Those are
Dumb-
my
dumb.
kids.
Yeah, yeah. Next, just sound effects. So where was I with that? I lost track.
Seth Rollins getting a wrestler in a movie.
Yeah.
Talking, I don't know. Seth Rollins is good though, and like
Yeah.
he came back. And, like, I forget? Do you follow pro wrestling?
I do passively. So I'll watch the
That's
what do you
right,
call
okay.
them, PLEs or whatever.
Their
Um,
pay-per-views. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't,
If
yeah.
they're big
Just like
enough.
it's Twitter. Like
Yeah, right. I understand why they can't technically call it a pay-per-view because it's not a pay-per-view any longer.
subscription.
It's so weird to like rename the acronym. Just call it a pay-per-view.
And they're acting like it's been the thing forever. Like
That's what's weird.
At the very first WrestleMania PLE, we saw like
Like you could say it was a pay-per-view. It was not
Yeah.
pay-per-view. It's fine. We paid for it at the time. Like, you took my money then. Maybe
Right.
you don't now in the same way. But like, why are we pretending like that didn't happen?
right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a very WWE thing to do, though. Is gaslight you at every church.
It's all kayfabe, man.
Yeah.
Everything's a work.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's a work. Like even so, my wife and I both grew up watching wrestling with our parents, and like when we started, like met and started talking just as friends, it was like, oh, we have this connection about wrestling. Awesome. And now, I would say I watch more regular than she does, but I'm like still 2 months behind on AEW. But I love that it's all on Max now because I can just watch it on Max.
Yeah.
No commercials, unlike Peacock, which still has commercials. WWE. But so like we're starting to use stuff like kayfabe and it's a work and like marking out and oh, nice pop in like regular day-to-day conversations. So we're like even with like political things, it's like, oh, swine flu is back, and it's like, no, that's a work, man. It's not real. Like they're just diverting attention. There's something else happening.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. I found a lot of it does actually get into the like it's been getting into the regular vernacular. Like everybody knows what a heel is now, which blows my mind because I feel like that was a very like strange, like very specific term, but people understand, right? Babyface still sounds weird to people, but everybody knows what a heel is.
Everyone knows what a heel is, but yeah, babyface is kind of. It's kind of like, yeah, the baby face of my story is
no,
the baby face of our story is crying, but that's
that's right. It's literal baby face. Yeah, not everything's gonna carry, but some of it's from like the '60s and stuff too. So it's also a time thing. Things just don't mean what they mean. But yeah, it's very interesting how some of it has permeated into the regular consciousness now, into the zeitgeist of the world, right? So
I love that there's a ton of wrestling fans on Threads. Like when I open Threads, I love it because it's either comics or pro wrestling.
Nice.
Sometimes it's comics about pro wrestling.
Oh,
See what
I feel where you're going.
I'm
Like
just
somebody who
gonna
might be putting those together.
there might be someone right here on this call that's but like there's somewhat like there's a reoccurring theme within wrestling fans where it's like everything is wrestling and like no one knows it except for wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So it's like a picture of Bailey, who's one of the main like women on the main roster for the women's division. She's been up and down, held all the championships, done all the things, been super popular. And she's going to be in like a celebrity NBA basketball game. And someone was like, see, everything's wrestling. And like, it was the promo picture of her like in front of like with the NBA flag or something behind her. And I was like, okay, but that's like literally a wrestler.
That doesn't count.
Yeah. But I see what you're doing. But but no, that's one of my favorite, like just cornered things in Threads is the like everything is wrestling.
There's a lot of parallels. I mean, when you've been doing something for this long, right? And it's been around forever, it's like The Simpsons. The Simpsons did it, like chances are you're gonna find some reference, and yeah, just especially with like politics and all that stuff, like it just
Mhm.
tends to, you can see it. It's the same showmanship. It's the same kind of pull that they do.
Right. I don't
Like it's
believe
all,
anybody.
yeah, like it's like this is their character. Like they're doing this for the camera,
Yep.
and then they're gonna go and shake that guy's hand after, right?
Yep.
Like maybe not so much nowadays, but that's at least how it used to be. Where it's like, you
Yeah,
know, they would
that
be on
only
the
kayfabe.
right, exactly. They'd be on the floor saying, "I can't trust this man for whatever," and then immediately after they'd go out and get lunch together, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right?
See,
Now I
I
don't know if
can't
they can.
imagine. Like I love seeing the pictures from the 80s and 90s of all the wrestlers, no makeup, no gear, no nothing, out to dinner together. Like,
Yeah.
could you imagine being the waiter that walks up to a table, like in mid 90s, and you've got like Undertaker sitting next to Shawn Michaels, sitting next
Yeah.
to Triple H, sitting next to Steve Austin, and just being like, oh God, are you gonna break my tables? Like, and they're just like, oh no, brother, no, I'm there. It would break me. I don't know what I would do.
They were heavy drinkers back then too, so they might break everything.
Right. They might do it like as a fun prank. Like,
Yeah.
look strong through that glass. It's like, guys, not again.
It's just it's the real thing in normal life as well. Like I was on a plane with Chris Masters, who is
Really?
like, yeah, he's gigantic.
Yeah.
He's in his like regular commercial flight seat, taking up the whole damn thing. Right? It's just being like very polite with the stewardess, being like, "Oh no, thanks for like." I guess they like moved them into a different seat because he don't fit in the normal seat,
Sure.
right? And it's just like, yeah, like they're just giants amongst men,
Mhm.
And so
Yeah,
I can
and not
imagine,
hiding.
right? I can imagine them all going together someplace. Like it's just gotta look scary in a way, right?
So
At least in those days.
right. Yeah. So like, okay, so late 90s, big like the height of the Monday Night Wars, WCW, WWE. My mom preferred I watch WCW because they didn't have the scantily clad women that WWE had. So I was a WCW kid, and I still am. Like, I love Sting. I will forever love Sting. But so they were in Columbia, South Carolina for a show. And I only remember that because that's where my cousins and aunt and uncle live. And my aunt used to be a nurse in like the ER in Columbia, like
Mhm.
downtown proper, their big main hospital. And one of the guys got hurt. I think it was Lex Luger got hurt in a match. And it was like the main event. And they like airlifted him out, took him to Columbia ER, and were treating him. And then after the show, the like Kevin Nash and Buff Bagwell and Scott Hall and like and I think Sting was one of like all these massive dudes came running into the entranceway. Like, we're here, like our friend, like,
Oh my God.
listeners, and he got hurt in a match, and like I'm the one that did it to him, and like we just need to make sure he's okay. And so my mom called like jokingly like the next day, like, oh yeah, we were watching wrestling, and my mom had the biggest crush on Kevin Nash. And like he just has such pretty teeth. And so I'm like, 7 foot tall, Mom. What are you? Shut up. Oh, he's just such, and his hair is so pro. Shut up, Mom.
Yeah.
But she called and she was like, yeah, we were watching WCW, and like one of the guys got hurt. And my aunt goes, yeah, he was in our ER. And all of these beautiful men came storming into the hospital. And I was stuck because I was they were all huge. And I was like, that was my first experience of like breaking kayfabe,
Mhm.
because I would have been junior high at the time, like for 13, 14 years old. And like hearing that Kevin Nash went to the hospital where Lex Luger went to, who he was wrestling and hurt, to make sure he was okay. I was like 13-year-old me couldn't handle it. And I was like, what are you What do you mean? Did you gonna finish him off? What is he doing? But like, yeah, my aunt was just like, these big, beautiful men.
That's amazing.
Like, all right.
Yeah, times are weird now with it, right? Because it's
Mhm.
like now it's like
Social
a
media,
weird,
man.
yeah, like they can't unless they're gonna be on 100% of the time. They're in
There's
this
one
weird,
there's
yeah,
one dude that it's just on all the time,
mhm,
and that's MJF.
yeah,
Like Maxwell Jacob Friedman is always just a arrogant piece of trash. And
it's
like
true.
that's his character. That's him on social media.
Mhm.
That's him interacting with people at conventions.
Yeah,
Like he does all of this stuff. Like I've seen videos of like little kids bringing a picture up to him to sign,
yeah,
and he'll like give them the stink eye and be like, "You think I'm gonna sign this trash? No, I'm signing this one. Here, go get," and just like throws it and makes them like run after it, and it's not even the picture they brought him.
It's
It's
amazing.
like it's incredible.
He's probably, yeah, he's easily the most committed. But
Mhm.
even he has been on podcasts and he explains it. He's
Yeah.
like, look, I'm hearkening back to that era. But even he had to break character once or twice. Like we had back in the 90s, we had the interview with The Undertaker where he broke kayfabe. Yeah. It was the off the record on PSN here in Canada. And it made the rounds, obviously.
Yeah.
But like we got it like first, right? And it was insane because it's like he was one that never, ever, ever until like, then he became the American badass or whatever. This was before that. This was the first time this dude like full on broke kayfabe and just said, yes, like this is my relationship with Vince McMahon and this is how it works. And, that's how you learned that he was like the locker room general and all that.
Yeah.
Right. But that was like the interview where now they have to be out there so consistently, so
Mhm.
constantly that unless you're going to keep saying the same things all the time in order to stay in character, you're
Yeah.
going to break through with just some reality here and there. But it's weird because they all do it like they break character and yet there's like a hint of they're keeping it going, right? Like what Ariel Hawani there, the MMA hour. Sometimes he has pro wrestlers on there. He had Becky Lynch and what she was fighting? Was it Ronda? I guess it was Ronda and Charlotte or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got into like an argument in the studio, and it's like, yeah, like this will work, right? This has to be a work. Well, like she was being earnest and like talking about like, like her marriage and all that stuff, and you know what I mean. And then they just went into like a full work to the point that like Ariel didn't know what to do. It looked like he wasn't in on it. So it's just like, yeah, it's interesting now because you don't know where the line is drawn.
Right.
Where before it was very like, no, they are this character. Where now it's like, no, we're all playing characters, but I actually do hate that person. And I'll kill them when I see them. And it's like, well, no, you're gonna pretend wrestle, but like, what's happening? So, like,
Yeah, you're not. She wasn't actually pulling her punches.
yeah.
There was real heat between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey because Ronda came in and just thought like, "Oh, I've done all this stuff in MMA. How can pro wrestling be hard? Give me everything."
Yeah.
And like had very strict things. And Becky, who had been working on it for 17 years, was like, "No, that's not how this works. Like,
Right.
you're gonna earn it. You can't just show up and get handed it." And so there was real heat there. And like Becky is also one of the best performers because like she got over as the man where they just called her like she was the man. And because she like SmackDown invaded Raw and there's separation of brands, which isn't anymore, but SmackDown invaded to set up a Survivor Series match. And one of the terrible, awful, just worst female wrestlers of all time, Nia Jax, broke her nose, like actually broke her nose. And so Becky's bleeding everywhere. She's kind of all over her face and it's like bleeding down her shirt and she no-sold it. And which means like she didn't show any pain at all. She owned it and she like they escaped through the crowd and she stopped and turned around. She's got blood all it's such an iconic picture.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she just stands there and goes,
Yeah.
Like the blood and everything is just everywhere. She's got the SmackDown shirt on, and all the people around her are like losing their minds and how badass she was. And so, like, and from then into for a long, like several years, she was the man. And it was like you can't say anything until you step up to the man, and you're looking at her. And it was just like it was such a cool like moment and thing to come out of. Like Nia Jax is terrible and she didn't pull her punch properly and actually broke Becky's nose. And instead of like getting vengeance, she used it to her advantage to make a moment that then carried her into the main event scene, including that 3-way main event at WrestleMania. That was the first women's main event match. Like she was a part of it, and it started from doing that the man character.
Yeah, she was this weird like steampunk
Irish lass. Yeah.
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 So that was like it was like an organic moment, right? Like people really latched on. And like it was a star making. It kind of reminds me of although less organic, but very well done, was the Bret Hart and Stone Cold I Quit match there. Submission match was
Video 13. Yeah. That was
right. That it like overshadowed the main event entirely.
Oh yeah.
Like that was the only one you remember from.
I don't even know what the main event was. But like that match is regularly in my conversation of greatest matches of all time, because they had agreed before they went out. Vince was very much like, we're going PG. We need to tone it down. We're not doing any color, which is like, don't blade yourself, don't bleed, nothing like that. And they got together and said, no, we're doing it anyway. And Austin was like, no, you're going to split me open and we're going to lean into it. And you're going to show that you have this brutal side that hasn't been seen before. Let's go have a great match. And like, it's one of the best, like every year that they do, all the podcasts do, they're like, oh, it's WrestleMania season. Let's rehash the greatest WrestleMania matches. Like that's regularly in my conversation of like top 3, if not best of all time, because it's so well executed. And when Steve turns around and he's just bleeding profusely after being slammed into the barricades, the commentators had no idea it was coming. The ref had no idea it was coming. And it was like, oh, so their genuine reaction is like horror of like, oh my God, he's busted. He's bleeding everywhere. Like that's super real. And it makes it even better. Like it's a masterclass of like what wrestling should be.
Oh yeah. And it's again hard to replicate now with cameras everywhere and right? Like it's just they got to be a lot more creative about it and how they get it across. But yeah, that's like an all-time. It's an all-timer for sure. And I think that's why before Austin broke his neck, right? So he was still like, he was an excellent wrestler. He was, he was someone that could actually do what Brett wanted to do. Like Brett would always carry a lot of people, right? Like if you couldn't, same with like Shawn Michaels. That's why the series with him and Shawn Michaels was always excellent. They're both excellent workers, right?
Yeah.
But so much like Shawn Michaels would do with lesser wrestlers, Brett would do the same. But here it's like, no, you had two at the same level that were putting on this excellent show and telling a story and like, you know what I mean? So it was an all-timer for sure. Like they're doing a lot of cool stuff nowadays, but it's just a totally different environment they're working in. Right?
I love where wrestling has gotten to. And part of this is like, I've been watching this for 35 years at this point. Like I started watching when I was 3. So I've been watching for a long time. So I've seen some stuff and I haven't always watched WWE. Like I've done the indiest of indies. I've gone to local shows with like 12 other people. And I've gone to the massive pay-per-view events and I've done everything in between. And that's not like, look at how awesome I am. That's like, I know what I'm talking about with wrestling because I've like, if anybody, have you ever heard the hypothetical, like, okay, someone comes to you and says, you have to give a TED talk for an hour on one subject. You have 3 minutes to figure it out and then go on stage and do it. I'm like, cool. I'm talking about pro wrestling. Like, no hesitation. That's what I'm going to go do. Because it's evolved as a product. And it's gone from wrestlers who are wrestling like the Bret Harts of the era. are really few. They used to be that there were bruisers, there were technical, and then there were just like the dominating giants, right? Now you just have these huge body guys like Brian Cage, who I am a huge fan of, but he's massive, right? Like his muscles have muscles that I don't even think exist in my body, but he's worked them out and can bench press 100 pounds with them. Like it's insane what that man can do. But you've got these huge body guys, but then you also still have the small technical guys, and then you've got the showmen like Adam Cole and like Dolph Ziggler or Nick Namath, his real name now, where like he just makes everybody look freaking good. Like he's in great shape. He's not muscles on muscles bodybuilder, but he's not like dad bod Adam Cole, who is still in way better condition than I am.
Sure.
So, like, anything, right? But
It's not our job to be in good condition, you know?
right. Right. But like you've got this wide range of styles now, and you've got the high flyer, you still got the giants like Big Cass, you've got the just like you're a spectacle to behold, like Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And like I don't like Roman Reigns, but he's very good at the character and where he's been booked. So like be the slow moving, methodical, I'm going to pick you apart at my pace. It's my ring. This is my match. You will do it my way. And I'm going to beat you every single time. And like, he's very good at that. Even though I don't like, I appreciate what he's doing. I don't like him. I think he's boring. I don't care for that character at all. I don't care. The best time that the tribal chief had was when Sami Zayn was trying to be an honorary Uce. That's the best. And that's mainly because Sammy would just get in there with all of these Samoans and be like, I'm clearly not one of you. I'm just going to make you crack. And so he would just say stuff to get them to laugh in the middle of like a live promo, in the middle of an arena or whatever.
Yeah.
And we got every single one of them to break, even Paul Heyman, who's arguably the best manager of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And like, that was the best that storyline ever got. But I don't like, there's so many flavors of wrestling styles now that the appreciation for the I love technical wrestling, like catch can wrestling and like chain wrestling where they're going move after move. It's more of like a UK style. I will eat that up all day long, every single day. My wife and the vast majority of my friends are like, dude, this is so boring. And I'm like, not everybody has to be Rey Mysterio Jr. Like we don't have to do 650s and do all the crazy, insane moon flip, quarter turn, corkscrews, top rope launches. Like not everybody has to do that. And but like that's if I could just only ever watch one type of wrestling, it's catch style wrestling, like the UK. I loved NXT UK. I watched every single episode because I was already watching like European wrestling. They used to stream on YouTube on like that on Fridays, like 3 p.m. And so I would be like, I used to have Fridays off at my last job. And so I would be like, oh, cool. I'm going to pull up Defiant Wrestling and watch it here on YouTube for my hour. And they were doing basically like house shows in front of 50 people. But it was these now huge, like Joe Hendry. I watched him on Defiant Wrestling. And like all of these people who I fell in love with there because they were very good at that catch style wrestling are now getting the showmanship, and they're having to step up everything else, right? Like they're the promos and the bigger movements, and it doesn't all have to be technically precise and perfect, but it has to look good. And that's a difference in how you approach wrestling. And like, I don't know, I don't know how we got here, but you're making me talk about like I'm psychologically building a match used to be an art form that Bret Hart and Stone Cold perfected at WrestleMania 13. Like I never understood like, oh, psychology of the match and tell a story. I never got that until watching that match for like the 5th time as a post-college person. And then I watched it and I was like, oh my God, this is this is so great. If you watch the build up and know the story that they were leading to that match, and
Mhm.
why it had to be an I Quit match, and then seeing all of the psychology mid match and all of the tension and the rises and like it's all there. And it's
Mhm.
just like, this is a perfect match. Like what other match has this high emotion without having like tossing Mankind off of Hell in a Cell?
Yeah. Right.
Right?
That was like like that's like a Tillman's moment. It's a moment for all moments for sure. That's more of like, yeah, you can't do that every time. Otherwise
Right.
you get like Edge jumping off the cage and his leg shatters into, right? Like just after years of throwing himself off of things.
Yeah.
Something interesting.
And like Rikishi took the dive off of, I think, Elimination Chamber, or maybe it was Hell in a Cell, into that like dump truck with hay in it.
Yeah.
And like, and he did that, and I was like, "What are you doing, Rikishi?" And then him taking the splash and doing that off of the top of the War Games cage onto Randy Orton, like that's peak. That's
Yeah.
insane. Like, go ahead, man. You're huge. You shouldn't be
Yeah.
doing this.
Right? Like you can have those moments. So there's something for everyone, right? But it's like there's something for every kind of moment. But those 5-star matches, what they call them, right? Those are very few and far between. And yeah, like we're talking about WrestleMania 13, and they just did what was the last one? I don't remember.
No, that's Super Bowl. 41 or 51. I think it was just WrestleMania 41. I think this year's 42.
Wow. Wow, we got old.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 41, 2025. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. So there you go. So yeah, it's been a while since there's been a match quite like that.
Yeah.
But you
I
can't.
mean, and there's been good matches since, like obviously,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to like what is professional wrestling, that's the match to point to. Like
100%.
because it's got it's got big moves, it's got the high risk too. Like it still has Bret Hart doing his elbow off the second rope thing and getting Stone Cold's boots in the face. Like it's not the highest risk, but that's still a high risk move.
Yeah. Get a little bit of everything, but it's the storytelling that's the big thing there, right? Where the other one's more of like it's just pure climax, like it's throwing Mankind off the cage, and like you can't imagine something like that happening before that, and then they would of course try
and him climbing back up. And like, have you watched the conversation video that that he and Undertaker did watching that match back?
Yeah,
and they're like the running commentary of like, "Oh, dude, I thought I killed you."
Especially when he said the worst one was going through it. You would think it would be the one he threw him off the side. And no, he was going through it, and then the chair like cuts through his lip.
Oh God!
Brutal.
Man,
I watched it. That's one of the few that I've watched like a handful of times, just because it's like I still can't believe that they did what they did. But,
he took 17 direct shots to the head with the chair. And he was only supposed to take like 3.
Yeah,
and his wife and kids were ringside and watching this whole thing. Like they were watching Dad murdered by the Undertaker.
Oh man! And you gotta find like a DVD or something to see the proper match, because now it's all you watch this stream of it. Oh yeah,
they've prettied it up as much as they can.
Yeah, understandably so, given everything that happened after. But yeah. All right, so comic-wise, it looks like a brutal stuff. Okay, so we're at the dialogue section of the show.
I was wondering, what do you think about the movie Surf's Up 2?
Surf's Up 2?
Yeah.
Why specifically 2 instead of 1?
Because all the wrestlers are there.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna say I haven't seen it.
I'm Googling it right now. Wave Mania? Oh man. That's awesome. Yeah, cast John Cena, Triple H,
oh wow,
Undertaker, Vince McMahon, Holy cow. I'm gonna have to watch this.
Sorry in advance.
You're gonna have to suffer through it.
Great. No, it's totally fine. I haven't seen the first one. I'm just gonna go straight to the sequel.
Yeah, I think this is one instance where that might be okay. Oh, geez. All right. So, dialogue. It looks like we need dialogue on this. I mean, the story's told pretty well through the images, but
Hmm. Yeah.
how?
This is, I'm gonna rely on you a lot here.
Uh-huh.
Um, because I am a classic overthinker,
That's all right.
and so I tend to get stuck in overthinking and like overworking stuff instead of just write what they should say. I watched it. So quick side tangent because ADHD.
Sure.
So Matt Kent is like my favorite current comic creator. Like I just think he's a freaking mad genius. But he did a video with his patrons on Patreon. I feel like that's redundant, but whatever. But he did a video where it's literally like it's a video of him and then his screen and he's typing like an entire script. It's like, let's write a script with Matt Kids. And it's like a 2.5 hour video of him writing a script for an entire, I forget if it's like a 24 or like 48 page book. And it's literally just like, man one. Hey, man. And he just like it's so effortless for him. And I'm like, dude, how do you make that look so simple? Because when you read and like someone was like, nah, I don't like how that sounds. And he just like backs it up and just changes it on the fly. And I'm like, I don't understand how your brain works. Like, I don't understand even here. Like, how in the hell did you make this page based on like, let's have a spider nanny? Weird. Like it's so rad. All that to say, like dialogue wise, I think it's just I get to like, what's the story? The story is like her saying like, "Oh, isn't she sweet?" And then the dad, saying something to the dad like, "Your child would fit in beautifully with my babies." And then the next one's like, "Wait, there's another. Well, who's holding that baby?" And like that's where it's like, well, where is dialogue needed and where is it not needed, and how do you find the balance between show not tell, and like enhancing the story with the dialogue instead? Like, how do you, as a writer, how do you do all that?
Through a lot of revision. Perfect. Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like you got to be willing to throw it out there, and if it doesn't fit or it doesn't work, like it helps having three of us on this as well, because then we can kind of workshop it. Because we'll throw something out and maybe it doesn't fit, or maybe it doesn't work right, or maybe it just doesn't sound quite right. But between us, we'll come up with something good. That's the hope, at least, right? So it's like kind of like speed revision. Because if you're doing this alone, you gotta write it and walk away from it and come back with kind of like having forgotten that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Where here it's like, well, we're all coming with our own perspective, so we get to do it real quick live. But yeah. So the main point being, just spit it out and then we'll see what comes of it. So I think you started with something really good, which is so it's her kind of saying like, so the only context I think I need for this is that child in her arms his, or just the one that he has at the door, like on his with like that he's holding? Is she?
I would think that it's one that she's already holding.
Okay.
He's only got the child that he brought with him to her, because the one that she's holding looks so similarly to the ones that she's already gotten.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. So maybe. Okay. So we set it up as though maybe it's how do these two come to find each other, right? So maybe it's like you said, what was the first line you said? Was like oh, she looks very sweet or something, or your daughter looks very sweet, or both kind of creepy. But I guess I get creepy is the point though. But
yeah, I had another thought as we were talking, and if I don't write this stuff down, I'm gonna forget it. So I'm gonna start adding stuff to the chat. But I like maybe setting up like her saying something like, "I've been doing this for years," like telling the dad like, oh yeah, I like, it's okay. You can trust me. I've been
Mhm.
doing this for years.
Yep.
And then maybe in that second panel, that's when she says something like, uh, uh, trying to bring his daughter into it of
Yeah,
like,
I just realized that I draw all babies, so maybe she can be saying something like she's a little older, but I can take care of her too, or something like that.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, um, she's a bit older than what I'm used to, but I can certainly find a place for her with my babies. Something that's one that's like, but yeah, no, I do think like calling out, oh, she is a bit older.
Yeah, no, I think you got it. She's a bit older than what I'm used to. Or is she old? She's a bit older than my regular. She's a bit older than I feel
Or
like
maybe
could
she's
be.
asking the kid like, well, how old are you, dearie? And then
Yeah.
maybe in that third panel is when she's like, she's a bit older than my regular. But I
Or just
think we
my
can,
baby, right? She's a bit
yeah,
older than my baby. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so second names.
Speaking of
He's caked in an
Yeah, so maybe okay, so I think in the second one is the like, oh, how old are you, sweetie? And then the third, she's a bit older than my babies are. And then no dialogue when she flips on the light. And then maybe the final panel is like, but we can definitely make a home for her here, or so like,
yeah, I
perfect.
think that's perfect. Man,
Yeah,
dude, you don't give yourself enough credit.
yeah.
Like, not only did you come up with the story pretty much whole class, but you also got the dialogue down on the first
Yeah.
pass. Like, you're better than you're letting yourself on to be.
cool.
No.
Oh, I've been doing this for years, whatever. Yeah, so does that work? Does
Yeah,
that,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's excellent.
did we,
Yeah,
just,
dude.
did we just do the thing?
Yeah. Like, yeah, you should definitely, are you not writing anything? Are you not, is that not for you? Or-
Well, I I am. I have the problem of I have so many ideas. And
Don't we
again,
all?
like the ADHD thing is like stick with one. Just
Yeah.
just write one.
Yeah.
And like that's a
Yeah.
challenge for me. And
Yeah.
so I tend to write down what the idea is because I don't want to lose it. And then I might come back to it and add some more like, oh yeah, this story could also be this or this could be a thing. And but then like I only am ever adding ideas to it. Actually, so I just announced, but yeah, Wednesdays 9 p.m. on my Instagram live at Longbox Punk. That's how you find me. I do these live streams and it's usually like I tried to do a newsletter to just get in the habit of like regular writing.
Mm-hmm.
But then my OCD kicked in and it was like, well, it needs to be properly structured and you need to be doing it for a purpose and like not just recapping who you've had on, but also like what I'm reading and writing and listening to. So I'm not just like selling somebody on my show every time, but then also like include graphics because those help for people that have short attention spans like I do, because I want graphics in my newsletters that I'm reading. Is like I was just overthinking. So I just stopped. I was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like I put, I think 3 hours into one of my like monthly recaps, and I was like, for like 2 people to read. No, I'm done.
I'm a subscriber, man.
I know you are. I think
I
you
would have been
were.
one of the two.
But it just like the ROI just wasn't there. And
Fair.
I am very big on like it has to make sense. That like if I'm gonna put time into it, I want it to be sustainable. And so that's why I have the schedule of Sunday, Monday live streams only,
Nice. Yeah.
because then I know like I can treat this like when I'm doing my show as a part-time job. And I'm gonna show up for work and do the research and possibly read comics and possibly post review videos and do all that stuff. And so I have time set aside throughout the week to do like this review videos and stuff like that. But then I know, and my wife knows, who's incredibly supportive. I can't say enough good things about it because she just lets me come into the office and just lose my mind for hours at a time. But like it has to be sustainable. And the 3 hours for a newsletter that might catch on wasn't sustainable. So I was like,
That's
okay,
fair.
well, how else can I do recaps and stuff like that? So I started the Instagram live because video, I'm a video first person. Like it's just easier. I've never been scared staring at a tiny little circular camera. Like that doesn't bother me. My degree is in broadcasting, and even before that, I did theater in high school, and I was doing plays and stuff in junior high and middle school, all the way back to like first and second grade. There's videos of it somewhere, but they're probably on beta, so good luck watching them. But like, I've always just been good with being in front of people, and so for me, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do like a live Instagram thing, and I'll just treat that like a weekly newsletter. It's just a live video. And sometimes they're 20 minutes. Sometimes like last night, they're 50. But last night, like I had a bunch of people like on in the comments. I've developed a regular crowd of like 5 people, which is great because I'm not doing this. Like I never started doing my show for numbers. I
Yeah.
started it because I wanted to talk to cool people and talk about comics and talk about music and maybe talk about wrestling and, like have some fun. That's why I started the show. So I don't have the pressure of like, I got to hit 500 subscribers and so many downloads and blah. Like, I don't even know where to find that data. I really
Yeah.
don't because I
That's good.
don't pay attention to. I don't care. So I had my like 4 or 5 regulars on last night, and one of them is a guy that I've gotten to be really good friends with. We've developed the texting thing, and we're honestly texting like every day. All that to say, we have been creating a comic book. So
Amazing.
he reached out last fall and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to get more serious about like putting myself out there. I really like your vibe. I think we have a lot of similarities. If you ever want to make a comic, like I would be down to work with you. I can do artwork. I know you've talked about writing and stuff and you have ideas. So like I would love to collaborate." And I was like, "I don't know you, stranger. Delete." No, I did that. And I was like, "Here's my number. Like let's FaceTime and let's figure this out." Like I'm all in, absolutely. And so just like we had an awkward like FaceTime the first time where I was like, "So hey, I'm Chris, you're Chris too? Cool. So comics, huh?" Like I literally said that, like, "So comics, huh?" And, and that got us laughing. And then we just started talking and we were off and running. And
Amazing.
so now we have an 8-page comic. He is inking the final page right now.
Amazing.
And we're hoping, he said he's going to spend the weekend working on a personal project and then he's going to start coloring next week. And I know that time is relative and it's all just a construct, man. But like, I'm hoping that by the end of March, I've got a PDF file that I can put on my old school thumb drive and walk into Staples and hand it to the guy and say, "There's an 8-page comic on there with the front and back cover and interior work on both of them. I need that printed on 8.5 by 11 paper, 2 pages per sheet so that I can fold it in half and staple it and have an 8-page trash can or ash can."
Yeah. I hope that trash
Um,
can.
Not a trash can. Like but like that's what I want.
Yeah, like legit, like zine style comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has always been what I want to create is like a zine ash can. Like clearly somebody printed this at Staples.
Amazing,
And so
yeah.
I gotta find where there's an open Staples around me.
I was just saying,
Um,
you'd be surprised that what the like full-fledged like a mixer, like a printer can do. They can probably pull it up and probably cheaper than Staples. Surprisingly. Yeah.
okay.
So if you have questions about that, reach out.
I definitely will when you get there because
Thanks.
I've never read a comic before.
Yeah, happy to help, man.
So, but yeah, like it's been super rewarding to like he and I think so if we were in the same state, like we would be best friends. We would hang out all the
Right.
time. Like our wives would have to be forced into being best friends too, so that we can hang out. Like it just with the script, I just wrote out kind of blurbs and maybe some dialogue, and then he took it and started like thumbnailing it, and then was like, maybe here, and like he just kind of put in some of his own thoughts for dialogue. And I was like, actually, that line works way better than what I wrote. Like, yeah, no, let's keep that. But like this one, I don't think works, or, you know, whatever. And so it's just been a learning process of like how he works and how I work and how he thinks and how I think. But then like getting it all together, it's been insanely rewarding when he texts me and is like, hey, I got another page inked, or like, hey, I finished pencils on all of our pages. Like you can check it out in our Google Doc, and like, it's all there. So it's so like it's been so freaking awesome that now I'm like, okay, so how do I take it to the next level? And I've committed social media wise, and I'm a punk of my word. I want to learn how to like draw and do artwork so I can make a full comic start to finish all by myself, all out of my brain, and print it zine style. And I want to be the like gorilla punk at Comic Cons, like, hey, I got a comic I made. You want it, kid? Like, I don't want to sell it. Like, if I make money, cool. But like, I just want to give it to people. I want that experience. So I am writing comics. It's a process. And I do have one that's getting ready to almost be complete. We just named it today.
Like,
We didn't have a name. We didn't have a logo. And before 11:30 this morning, we had a name, and I threw together a logo that he really liked. We tweaked it a bit, and now we have a full-fledged logo too. So like,
amazing.
yeah, dude, it's so freaking cool. Like, I get why comic creators just have so many comics working all the time, that it's like, get it, because it's an adrenaline rush. It's a high. Like, even seeing all of this here, like just watching Roberto, I'm trying not to like just watch how he's working, you know, just like, oh, that's so 'cause this is all I want to do. Like, I love watching videos of artists showing their process, or like live, like, hey, or live stream and draw, like just turn it on and I'm just drawing whatever. I love
Yeah.
that because I love seeing artists work, because until however long it takes me to learn, I've never been able to do that. So I'm
Yeah,
just
that's fair.
mad jealous, but I was like, you know what? DIY, man. I'm tired of being jealous of people. I want to do the thing. So I'm committing to learning I'm going to learn art.
It's a journey, but you're doing it the right way, man. You're doing it the right way, where you're kind of walking in with little to no expectation, right? Like, you're
Yeah.
doing it for the sake of doing it, and
Yeah.
frankly, that's where the best stuff comes out of, right? It's
Yep.
when you just want to see it come to fruition.
Yeah.
You're gonna make something a lot better than someone who's trying to jump on a trend, or you know what I mean? Like, is doing it just because they think this is going to get them to write Batman,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah,
you're doing
I have
something that's good for yourself, you know?
I have no desire to do any, just like with the podcast. Like, I never set out to start this show so that I could talk to insert whatever name here. Like, I didn't. I was just, I just want to talk to people, and like whatever comes my way is a win. And so the fact that I did get to talk to Matt Kent and his wife and his mom, Margie Kraft Kent, about Guilt Frame last year, like I never would have imagined in less than 6 months of starting a podcast about comic books and punk rock that I would be talking to my favorite creator on my show. But like, I did. And so
Yeah,
now I'm like,
that's awesome, man.
well, okay, like, I'm glad I didn't have that as a goal, because if I did, like, well, now what, right? Like, where do you go after you talk to your goal person? But it's like, no, I'm just excited to talk to everybody. Like, it doesn't matter if I've read their stuff, not read their stuff, if they have 1,000 followers or 10 million. I don't care what 7, cool. Like, you making comics? Awesome. Let's talk about it. And like, so I'm excited every time I talk to somebody because people in comics, man, like there's something special about this community of just like awesome freaking people.
Yeah. Oh man. No, dude. I'm excited
You
for
hype.
you and where you're at with it. Yeah. But yeah, man. It's really cool. I don't think we can top that. So it's a great spot to leave off, I think. So with that, I'm gonna give you the floor again. Now that we have this awesome page, it's all that it looks beautiful. I mean, again, I'm glad you're getting into comics because you clearly have the talent coming up with this kind of whole cloth on your own. So you clearly have something going on. So I'm excited to see what else you've got going on. I'll
Awesome.
stop using that term going on. But hey, what do you have
Talking. Yeah. So
working with it? Yeah.
thanks for having me on. This
course.
was so much fun to just talk in very depth detail about pro wrestling. Roberto, kudos to you for like tuning our nonsense channel and like creating this kick-ass page. So yeah, I'm Chris. I am the Long Box Punk. If you like indie comics, if you like punk music, if you like the DIY mindset, if you like horror comics, if you like pro wrestling, I talk about all of them pretty regularly on my socials at Longbox Punk, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and then all of your favorite podcasting platforms is how you find me. And I hope to see you on social media soon. I know it's not my show, but like I'm still gonna hit you with my tagline of like don't do what's good for you after you finish watching this and read some indie comics.
Amazing. We should steal that. We're not going to, but we should steal that.
Use it. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a good mantra to have for sure. Right. Roberto, you're still on mute. So am I speaking for you or are you free to do it? I'm speaking for you. All right. All righty. So where you can find Roberto, whose hands are full right now. You probably can't even see him if I'm editing this, right? So you can find Roberto at ViacavaIllustrations.com. Roberto ViacavaIllustration.com. It's hard to say that. Or find Nathaniel Fox on Kickstarter, either pre-launch or it's launched right now. But you can certainly find it on Kickstarter under Roberto Viacava. And yeah, you can find him online, Viacava Roberto, at Viacava Roberto on most of the socials. He's out there. So you'll be able to find him there. Did I get it all? What's that one? Good? Down.
Website, and then it was raining.
Realm Travelers. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thanks. Realm Travelers is also, it should be on Kickstarter. As we're speaking, there's a pre-launch. I don't know where we are in time and in the world when this releases, but you can find Realm Travelers also on Kickstarter. But again, Roberto Viacava, illustration.com will send you to all of those things. And I think, okay, did I get it? Is that everything? Okay, cool. And with that, I'm going to tell you who I am. I'm Adriano. I'm at Pesto Comics on everything, or pestocomics.com. I probably have something on Kickstarter right now. Chris gave the plug earlier. I got my wrestling comic with From Parts Unknown. It's either issue 4 or 5 or something. Right now is very likely on Kickstarter. So I've got something coming. I'm always, if there's either a live campaign or a pre-launch page. So find me on Kickstarter. But the easiest way to get there is to go to pestocomics.com and it'll send you to my page on Kickstarter. And with that, once again, check us out on the website, Instant Ink, podcast.xyz, or on YouTube or Instagram. And that's pretty much it for us this week. So once again, Chris, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming. This was a great episode. Always great to talk to you. Hope we get to do so again very soon. And for Roberto, since he can't do it, and for myself, thank you very much.